This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Now at 5, more fallout over a controversial decision the Francis Howell School Board made this week to eliminate Black history electives for students. Good evening, I'm Brent Solomon. There's a divide over this issue, some calling it a win for the district, others saying it's divisive. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings takes a closer look.
To not allow students to see themselves in their classrooms, to not have their history, their work, their past, their families, their people represented in their classrooms. That's what this is about.
It's a fallout over the future.
Let them learn!
Emotions run high after the Francis Howell School Board decided to drop 2 Black-related electives from its curriculum at 3 of its high schools.
These courses were put in place to teach students about Black history, Black literature, that prepares them to be better workers in the workforce, to be better, more empathetic, compassionate humans.
Walker, a former student, says she didn't feel that unity on campus.
I experienced a lot of racist incidents when I was at Francis Howell North, so I chose to go to St. Charles Community College instead.
St. Charles County Councilman Mike Elam says the move could be a better way to see success in schools.
It's probably better pursued at a college level than it is at a high school level, because today in public education, we really need to focus on core development.
Statements from board members indicate it's not the history they want to get rid of, but the place where it's coming from, which is the social justice standards developed by the Southern Poverty Law Center. The board cites it teaches through a more, quote, social justice framework. Dr. Willie Francois weighed in on that notion.
Despite our racial identifications, despite our class backgrounds, to learn Black history is to learn a fuller story of the American project, and it invites us into being a part of making this a more perfect union. If that's turning people into activists, I guess I'm okay with that.
That perfect union, many agree everyone's experiences should exist in.
Because the real world is diverse.
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
And we have reached out to the Southern Poverty Law Center to get their response to the board's concerns about their work. We are waiting to hear back. Today, charges issued in a deadly North County shooting. James Stampley is charged with murder and robbery. Police got the call Wednesday morning in reference to a shooting on West Florissant Avenue. There they found Brandon Cotton dead in a parking lot. Police say it was all caught on surveillance camera. Right now, Stampley is being held on a $500,000 cash bond. An unusually warm and damp kickoff to this holiday weekend. Meteorologist Gary Frank joining us now with the Weather First forecast.
Yeah, good evening, Brent. You know, for the most part, it does not feel like Christmas weekend whatsoever. We've talked about that at great length, right? But how do we get here and where do we go from now as we get close to the holiday? We've started to dry out nicely. The sun even starting to come out just in time for sunset, of course, as we've started to gain just a little bit of daylight each day. How about that, right? So that's what we're looking at here. Temps, though, 60 degrees. We've fallen from our high in the mid 60s. Otherwise, you could see that cool air to the north, but it's not that much cooler. That will take some time to settle in. We'll really start to see things remain mild this evening. Temps in the low 60s overall, but it's what we talk about over the next few days. It's as we get closer to Christmas, how warm it continues to be. When that rain arrives, we're going to talk about the rainiest portions of your Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and when that cooler air settles in coming up, Brad.
All right, Gary, thank you. The United Nations Security Council approving a resolution calling for humanitarian pauses and more aid delivery to Gaza. CNN's Rick Damigella has more on what this could mean for that region.
Relentless clashes between Israel and Hamas, sparking international outcries for urgent humanitarian assistance in Gaza.
And this is why the Security Council has been asked to urgently step in.
After several closed-door negotiations, the UN Security Council approved a compromise resolution Friday calling for urgent aid for civilians trapped within the conflict zone's nightmare.
To assist civilians in need, to save human lives.
Specific language details. Extended humanitarian pauses and corridors throughout the Gaza Strip for a sufficient number of days to enable full, rapid, safe, and unhindered humanitarian access. This as aid agencies deem anything short of a ceasefire nearly meaningless and warns of further deaths.
The only sensible thing would be that the United States and the UN Security Council demand an immediate ceasefire before more thousands of children are dead.
The Hamas-controlled health ministry in Gaza reports more than 20,000 people have been killed since the start of the war in October.
As you can see behind me, the patients are on the hospital pews, they're on the floor.
Despite pressure to scale back its offensives, Israeli forces have signaled expanding military operations, prompting new evacuation orders for central Gaza.
You're going to transition to a different set of objectives, and you're going to achieve those different set of objectives through different tactics and operations.
Rick Damigella, 5 on your side.
And for the latest coverage on the war and those impacted by it, text the word Israel to 314-425-5355. Today, Tesla announcing it's recalling more than 120,000 vehicles due to an issue with their doors. The company says the doors may unlock and open during a crash, and that increases the possibility of getting hurt. This affects Model S and X vehicles made between 2021 through 2023. Some of the hottest shows out there may be available only on streaming services. The average person pays for about 3 of them a month. But as Michelle Lee explains in today's Making Ends Meet, some customers have had enough, and now there are alternatives from unlikely places.
It's clear most of us pay for several streaming services at once. The average person pays for 3 services a month, but 1 in 10 of us have more than 5.
Can you hear me now?
Verizon is offering a new bundle just in time for the holidays that saves roughly 40% on 2 services, Netflix and Max.
You can get Netflix and Max for $10 a month, which is much lower than the monthly payment that you would get if you were streaming these separately.
And to top it off, Verizon already has a Disney bundle, meaning that you can get 5 streaming services now for just $20. It's part of the latest streaming wars as competitors work together after customers revolt online.
I'm getting real sick and tired of getting a new email every 2 to 3 business days about one of these streaming platforms raising their prices.
This fall, Apple even faced backlash after raising its prices by $3 a month. Customers complained there wasn't enough content to justify that price hike.
And then this is our Hoopla app. With our Hoopla app, you can access movies, TV shows, audiobooks, ebooks, and even comic books and graphic novels.
But if you really want to save, libraries offer so much content for free. If you like books and audiobooks, use the app Libby. Hoopla gives you free movies.
You'll find some newer titles, probably not your brand new release movies on there, but you will find newer and older movies and television shows.
And if you're trying to ditch Spotify or Apple Music, try the app Freegal. It's free with your St. Louis Public Library card.
And with that one, you can stream up to 8 hours of music for free per day with your library card, and you can also download up to 5 free songs per week. And when you download those, they're your songs to keep.
As streaming becomes just as costly as cable and customers grow fatigued of paying for it, know that there are also more options to save.
It gives our customers a chance to really sit down and do the math. Like, how much am I really spending on subscriptions, on streaming services? And through our partnership with these different services, customers can save quite a bit.
For Making Ends Meet, Michelle Lee, 5 on your side.
Well, just days before Christmas, several gift giveaways kicked off all across the St. Louis area. Let's take a look now at this one that just wrapped up within the past few hours at the 100 Black Men headquarters on Del Mar. The organization donated more than 1,200 toys today. Kids could come in and pick out multiple items to take home for Christmas. There was also a raffle to win some big ticket items, including bicycles. The Youth and Family Center also hosting its annual holiday giveaway today. They've partnered with the Urban League and other local groups to make it happen. Their goal, to serve up to 200 families. Each family also received a box full of items to make holiday meals with. Kids there were also able to choose their own Christmas gifts. Today, Build-A-Bear and Beyond Housing teamed up to help brighten up the holidays for kids as well. They gave out 250 bears for kids who came out for a free screening of Build-A-Bear's new animated movie. It's called Glisten and the Merry Mission. It follows the story of a young elf trying to save Christmas. It happened at Beyond Housing's 24-1 cinema. Well, there's a busy travel season ahead as we approach the end of the year. About 104 million people are expected to hit the roads for the holidays. And according to AAA, about 2 million in Missouri are traveling by car. That's between today and January 1st. About 5.4 million will do so in Illinois. Drivers can expect heavy traffic today until 7 o'clock this evening. By the way, Missouri has some of the cheapest gas prices in the nation. AAA says Missouri's gas price average right now is about $2.71 a gallon. Well, with so many people traveling, many will bring their homemade goodies along for the ride. But what if you're flying to your destination instead? Arian Daytel is here to verify the rules around traveling on plane with homemade food.
Are you in charge of bringing a side dish or two for the holidays this year? Wondering if you can bring it on the plane? You're not alone. It's a popular Google search this time of year. So, using these sources, let's verify. Are you allowed to bring homemade food on a flight? The Transportation Security Administration says yes, but depending on the dish, you might have to put it in your checked bag. Here's a verified cheat sheet of what you can carry on and what needs to be checked. If it's a solid item, like a pie, casserole, or even a cooked or uncooked turkey, then it can go in your carry-on. However, the TSA says if you can spill it, spread it, spray it, pump it, or pour it, and it's larger than 3.4 ounces, then it should go in a checked bag. That includes bottles of alcohol or canned items like gravy and corn that have liquid in them. There's one more thing you have to worry about when traveling with food. The CDC warns bacteria can multiply rapidly at room temperature. So, if you're taking any perishables, you want to make sure they stay cold. The TSA allows ice packs through security, but only if they're completely frozen when you get to the checkpoints. With your Verify, I'm Arian Daytel.
And as always, if you have a burning idea that you think we should verify, email verify@ksdk.com. All right, Gary Frank joins us now with your complete weather first forecast. And you know what? If you were hoping and praying for that white Christmas, just keep praying for next year.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and we haven't even seen it hardly throughout the entire United States. Spots you would think,
true.
Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, there is not much snow
warm.
Unless you're over 5,000 feet, right?
Interesting,
It's been pretty warm. That's the way it is. I think things are going to get colder as we get closer to the new year, but we're going to enjoy the rest of not only the evening with this sunset in Arnold, but overall, it's pretty nice. You're continuing to look at some clearing off to the west, and that's what we'll look at off to the east, still cloud cover hanging around. Temperatures, though, 60 degrees. Our average right now is 43 degrees. So even at this hour, we're way above that. 64 is where we topped out at. Of course, we've not seen any rain today officially, but we had over 32 inches of rain for the year. Still pretty dry overall. We're going to try to add to that ahead. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but if you didn't join us, December 23rd in recent years, 64 today. Keep that in mind. Look at our average. Our average is 42, and look where we've been. 64 in 2019, 64 in 2020, 65 2021. 8 degrees last year. So big difference, right? That's what we're looking at ahead. And overall, cloud cover, you see that little bit of a break. We're going to see the rest of the evening. Those clouds should at least thicken a little bit overnight. So it's going to keep our temps back up as we add to that moisture. But overall, we're not going to see our temps drop a lot. So you don't really need to bundle up overall. That light jacket, something about as good as you need. Here's the next system that's going to disturb our weather and a lot of weather throughout the Midwest and maybe provide a little bit of light snow for some areas in the region on Christmas morning. However, we're not going to be one of them. We're going to see this disturbance. You can see how overall, as I switch to a different picture from that visible satellite infrared radar, you look at the even in Albuquerque, which is well above 5,000 feet. Still some light snow there. That's it. Most of this is warm. So as we head towards Saturday night into Sunday, we're not going to see much of a change. You're going to wake up tomorrow. It's cloudy. Rain starts to develop early Sunday morning. And I still think by 2:30 we're dry. I really think that Sunday's dry. Just for perspective, I've taken the rain icon out completely. And it's not that we ever expected it to rain Sunday early, but I thought we'd at least get rain by 9 o'clock in some spots. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to take a while. So our rain chances Sunday to Monday, dry by 6 o'clock. Midnight, that's when it picks up for us. So Monday early morning, and then I think 6 o'clock is probably our rainiest period, and then we're going to see more of that rain settle in. Christmas Day, 51, 59, rain ends, cooler weather settles back in. And I think that, for the most part, heavy rain on the other side of the state as we continue to look at temperatures here staying pretty steady overall. We're back into the mid, I would say, much, much cooler weather for the most part as we continue to look at temperatures holding steady right around 60 degrees.
All right, Gary, thank you for that. And thank you for your company. That's all of our time at 5. We'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock on television.